Our second panel will focus on the U.S. role in the Middle East.
The worst kept secret is that we do know the solutions. And not only do we know the solutions, but when you poll Israelis and Palestinians, you have a majority who support those solutions.
The conflict in the eyes of Arab League members is no longer over the legitimacy or existence of the State of Israel. It's over what to do about the occupation of territory since 1967. And this is a cosmic shift.
The big yes that we wanted to get to was normal, secure relations and recognition throughout the region. That is the offer put out there by the Arab Initiative.
If you leave things alone, they don't stay the same, they get worse. They don't just stagnate, they go downhill, and what you're talking about with the rise of political Islam would sort of beg the question then, shouldn't we hurry to get to that solution?
Our influence has diminished, and I think our power has contracted. And our power has contracted in part because the region has reacted very negatively to some of the overly ambitious things that we've tried to achieve there.
Only if you identify the US interest, as I believe the Iraq Study Group identified it, will you see the kind of engagement that I think is required.
We're going to leave an Iraq that is not necessarily a friendly state to the United States. It may, over time, become a feisty democratic or representative system. It could also take a sharp turn back to dictatorship.
So I think there are things that we need to do, reviving arms control and regional security talks that started after the Madrid conference, but that were allowed to languish.
I'm not saying that the Americans or even the Israelis should be the first to be talking to Hamas and seeing where one can go with a unity government, but I think they should be encouraging rather than punishing Europeans and others to take that approach.
Should we, Ambassador, at this point be getting used to the idea of a nuclear Iran?
We do all the things we have to do to try to stop Iran. We try to shore up sanctions. We try to build more allies in the pursuit of an enforceable sanctions regime. We deal with our Western European allies.
We have consistently sent a signal that we don't accept the current regime in Iran, and that this has contributed to the thinking of security responsible officials in Iran. And so I think that we repeatedly fail to imagine what's the security predicament that the Iranians are trying to fix.
And I'm really distressed that Islamofascism seems to be becoming a red meat Republican rallying cry more and more.
I didn't hear anyone talk about the current breakdown in the political leadership in Israel, with the Prime Minister, the scandals, and yet an increase in the economy and businesses.
Israel is in a place today where it recognizes, painful as that is, that something's got to give, and the main thing that's got to give is the continued Israeli presence in the Palestinian territories.
Is it inevitable that Iran is going to ascend in the region, of which their nuclear program is an element of, or does the panel figure, reason that that's not inevitable?
I think the responsibility of the international community is to see if you can break apart the different motivations and put the weapons requirement into a different box and see if you can lock that closet.
So what would be a reasonable recalibration of our expectations and our capabilities?
I think I do hear candidates and people in high office, talking about the need for humility and the need for sort of a greater sense of realism in how much we get to set the agenda for other countries.